Welcome to the Chabot Experiences radio show slash podcast. I always love getting good guests, but for some reason, I really miss North Carolina, sometimes living here in Hawaii. So I got I don't even want to call him a high school classmate because sometimes it's good to move on from the past, but if you're a former athlete, I wasn't the best, but this guy got here, he was very good, and it is fun to go back in the past and catch up with somebody that you knew they were just a phenomenal athlete. This guy played varsity basketball with me when I was a senior. He was actually a freshman, played all 4 years of high school football. Shout out to Southwest Onslow Stallions. Went on to UNC Chapel Hill, which is known more for basketball, but while he was there and another Jacksonville native, Deontay Williams was there, they made it a football program. Went on, played professionally in the US and I think Canada as well.
Yes, sir.
And now he actually coaches and mentor kids back. I like to welcome, if you're a former Stallion, you can Google Southwest Onslow and this guy name should pop up, Kendrick Burney. Welcome to the Chabot Experiences
Yes,
show.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. It's good to see you, brother. It's been since school that we've been able to see each other and chat. So I'm blessed and thankful for you to give me a call and being on your show. And man, like I said, I'm so proud and happy for you, big dog.
Oh yeah, man. It's so many angles we can go at, but I'm limited always to about 30 minutes for this show. So I'm gonna just jump right into it, man. One thing that I do love about you, and I try to incorporate this, what I do at Chabot Experiences is I'm trying to get people to see that if you're so good, sometimes the rules don't apply to you. I look at you, you played varsity like I was a senior and my homeboy Brad Smith, he was like, Charles, do you ever look over there at Kendrick and be like, this dude a freshman and he's out there competing with us? And I was like, yeah. So I look at it with the college and trade and people, doing businesses. My philosophy is sometimes if a person is so good, they might not need all 4 years of college. They can go right on to starting a business, whatever they're passionate at. So with you, what was it like being a freshman and playing varsity? And I have to give you a shout out. Probably when you was in middle school, you could have been on varsity.
Man, I tell you what, growing up in that Southwest community, it's different now because, like I said, my parents went to Southwest. You know how, back in the day, how family tight-knit Southwest Onslow is. So, I've watched every single football game, every basketball, every baseball game since I was born. And, having the fact to play varsity, since my freshman year, I was nervous. But guys like you said, Brad Smith, who, could have pretty much been, like washed away with me, not talk to me. Y'all brung me in like I was a brother, like I was little bro. And, I knew I had the skill to play with y'all, but, at that age, mentally, as a young kid, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to keep up. But the fact that Southwest crew was so family oriented, it made things a lot easier for me where I can just go out and play. So it took the nerves away right then and there. And it was just, playing football or hooping or playing baseball. It felt just relaxed because I had brothers around me that I truly felt wanted me there.
Nice, man. And I agree with you, man. One thing about me, I've never been a hater, man, because at the end of the day, whatever's for me is for me. So I want to give you a big shout out to, we actually won some conference championship with you.
Yes, sir.
Rashawn, Renardo Lennon, Brad Smith, Max Doré. It was just a wonderful thing, man.
Wonderful.
So I know your high school career, man, was just so phenomenal. It's like everything you did was like gold, man. So what was some of that experience? Can you tell my listeners, any parent or student that wants to play, not even Division II or Division III, you played Division sports, and what's unique, you did the football thing and baseball, track, basketball in high school. But if I'm not mistaken, when you went to UNC Chapel Hill, it came a point in time where you were doing two sports. You were doing football and baseball. What kind of advice do you have right now for my listeners when they're transitioning from high school to college athletes and doing two sports? What was like, was it any pressure to balance your classwork? What was it like?
I mean, to tell you the truth, pressure-wise, I didn't feel the pressure. Just because, like I said, you know, at UNC, I also had big brothers who took me in. Thing that I would tell kids now, you know, transitioning from high school to college, you know, in high school, a lot of these kids now think that, hey, I only want to play one sport and be good at that one sport. College coaches are looking for multi-sports athletes.
Wow.
If you can't play more than but one sport, they think in their head, well, this guy's not versatile to be able to do other things, because if he's just good at one sport, he's not able to make adjustments. Like, you know, what they loved about me with football was the fact that I played basketball, and at basketball, you know, you got to move your feet.
Right.
So at corner, you know, playing press technique, you got to move your feet, and that's what the defensive stance was. So, you know, football coaches love basketball players. And then also at DB, me playing baseball, playing in the outfield, I was able to judge a ball and go get it at the highest point. And if you look at a lot of the DBs that's in the league, in the Hall of Fame, a lot of those guys either play baseball or play multiple sports, but were basketball stars. And you're using other muscles that you wouldn't use on just one sport if you're using. So I would tell parents, hey, let your kid play multiple sports. Even if they're not a superstar in that other sport, they're only going to get better. But it makes colleges have to give you more money, or now with this NIL stuff, you know what I mean? You're gonna produce and get more just because they're gonna want to keep you from that other sport. And like I said, you know, I was blessed to be just as good in baseball as I was football. So, you know, going to Carolina, baseball was pretty much they don't give out full rides. Baseball in college don't give out full rides. And I was going to get almost 80% of my scholarship played just to go play baseball. They were going to give me more just to keep me away from playing football.
Wow.
So that's what, you know, I tell a lot of parents, you know, playing one sport, you're hurting yourself. And that's the biggest thing is, you know, having these kids and learning the game. Everybody once you get to college is skill. Everybody was a superstar at their college. But if you can't get in there and watch film, learn tendencies of things, then you're just gonna be another player and you're gonna get lost in the sauce, because as soon as you get there, they're already looking for the next guy. They're recruiting the same guy, same person you are.
Yep.
As soon as you sign that paper, they already looking at the guy next year that's the same person as you. So if you go out there and you don't go study that film, or you're not working hard in the weight room, but after that 1 year, you're gonna have to hit that portal. And it's just things that a lot of kids think is sweet and easy, but man, you got to put in that work. You have to. I mean, I know everybody loves summer, and you know, as a kid, I didn't have a summer. Soon as baseball season ended in high school, I was off to Greensboro to go play summer baseball. And you know, don't get me wrong, I still able to be a kid, but for me wanting to go to college, you got to always stay active. You got to get better. You got to get better. Then you take your 2 weeks somewhere and go on vacation with your family. But if you want to go to that next level, you got to be willing to do the things that them other kids are not.
Exactly, man. And I look at it, not even just with athletes, and I don't want to push too much like book work in school, but I'm saying in anything you do, it's really a competition. Would you look
Yeah,
at it
it
that way?
is.
Anything you do is competition.
Yeah, I mean, I look at that way huge, and especially, I mean, you know, your listeners can't see me, you know, my size, but coming out of high school, I've always been 5'9". Ain't been no taller, no nothing. You know, I always say when they gave me 5'9" and some, I say I'm 5'9" and some change. You know what I mean? But you know, the thing is, you know, you're always competing against somebody, whether, like you said, whether it's the books,
Yep.
whether it's competitive, because you're not going against the kids that's in your area.
Yep.
that's not who you're competing with. You're competing against kids that's like, say we're from Southwest Onslow in Jacksonville, North Carolina. We're competing against kids that was in Charlotte, people in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Virginia. That's who you're competing against to get that scholarship.
Yeah.
And out of this whole world, only 3% of kids are really going to college. So you think on your football team where you got 40, 50 kids, to think, man, only 1 or 2 of us gonna go play college ball.
Yeah.
That's a crazy stat to know. But the thing is, if you put in the work, and you keep your faith and do what you're supposed to do in the classroom, you'll get your looks. But a lot of kids don't want to, like they always told us, and I'm sure you've heard this, it ain't what you do during the game, it's what you do when nobody's watching.
Yeah.
And if you putting in that work, whenever that time comes and them lights turn on, it'll show.
Yeah, you showed up plenty of time.
It'll show. Yes, sir.
Nice. So when it comes to even finances and stuff like that for schools, one thing I mentor people on is these student loans. I noticed you said if a person's playing multiple sports, that may help them out financially. So could you just tell a little bit more? Did the football portion of UNC Chapel Hill give you a scholarship as well? Or it was mainly like you said, baseball, playing those 2 sports?
Yeah, I was blessed to get my whole education taken care of for football. Like I said, if I'd have went and played just baseball, pretty much the school part would have been taken care of. But as far as your eating, your living, your dorm, your living, and all that stuff, that comes out of your pocket. And I mean, tell you the truth, being at the area where we're from at the beginning with my family, it wasn't all peaches and cream, you know what I mean? So, money wasn't at the top part. So it's very hard, you know what I mean, to be able to financially stay in college. Now, there's Pell Grants and there's definitely things that can get you taken care of, but who's gonna invest that money in you if you're not investing in yourself and your work? So that's the thing with, these parents and, all this college stuff right now. You got to show, just like in business, if you don't show that investor that you're willing to put in that work, nobody's going to give you that money.
Gotcha.
Because nothing in life is free. Just in case somebody give you something, but it ain't, yes, it's love, but at the same time, there's something coming back that they gonna want. You know what I mean? So, I mean, the biggest thing I tell people, as far as finances and colleges, learn early how to manage it. Gotcha. Because none of this money, whether you're in the NFL, MLB, with the more money you got, the more the different tax bracket, the different housing, different cars, because everybody's gonna spoil themselves. But at the same time, those bills are the same. I mean, like I tell somebody, you can be a poor man and have your house, have your car, and whatever your budget is, you got that in your utilities. But the same thing goes for the rich man. Even though might be a millionaire, his house, his car, is still right there where they ain't got extra money to spend like that either. Gotcha. You know what I mean? You go ask a rich man, can I borrow some money? And he gonna tell you the same thing as the poor man, because inside his budget, he really ain't got much extra to spend either.
Gotcha.
Yes,
nice.
Sir.
Another area I want to talk to you, and again, there's a million questions I could ask you because you represent so much, Burney, college athlete, played professional, and we'll get to that later. But what would you say, again, to parents and students when it comes to this college thing? What were some of the challenges being an athlete? Even if could you even work a job if you really wanted to, or after watching film, you did 2 sports. So I bet you was running from baseball practice to football practice, then academia. What would you say was some of the challenges, just organically, just being human? What was some of those challenges?
I mean, that first week of college was hell. I mean, because there's no such thing as being prepared. It's like having you know, for us parents, it's like having that child. No matter how many diapers, how much milk, whatever, clothes, there's no way to prepare for it until it's there. And you know, it's gonna be hard. It's challenging. I mean, you're going to play football at the next level or baseball, whatever sport at the next level. So they're gonna break you down mentally that first week. And it's all mental. Like I tell people all the time, you know, when I was playing both sports, I would go 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to football workouts, right?
Uh-huh.
Boom, we end at 7 a.m. I get breakfast, go to class at, you know, my 8 to 3 or whatever. Boom, go get lunch, you know, then boom, we got baseball game at 7 o'clock. So we got baseball from 7 to 11, 7 to 12. By the time I get home, shower, it's 1, 2 o'clock. And boom, I'm right back up at 5 a.m. for football workouts. So it's challenges everywhere. And if you don't have the support system around you, it can eat you alive. It can eat you alive. But you know, it's definitely a challenge, but it's a challenge I feel like will make you a man or a woman. You grow up very fast. You grow up very fast because you learn, you know, certain parties or certain get-togethers. Hey, buddy, that's always gonna be there. But this time right now that you got to play the sport, it's very short. It's a very short period. And you know, that's the biggest thing I tell these parents, to let their kids know that you know, this opportunity that they have, it's only one shot.
Gotcha.
It's only one shot. So you have to learn to manage that time. And when those days are hard, like I said, you know, I don't know if most of your listeners are religious, because I don't push religion on nobody. But at the same time, you got to have somebody to lean on, because nothing in life you done by yourself. I don't care who you are. You can't do it by yourself. So you got to have a great support system. And like I said, there's gonna be days, you know, with sports or life that you just feel like, man, I can't do it no more. But you got to keep pushing. You got to get up, because you're gonna get knocked down. It's gonna be more than once. I mean, you know, even in life, us as adults, me at 30, 35, 36, you at your age, there's still days where we get punched in the mouth.
Sure.
But we got to continue to get up and fight and believe in whatever you believe in. Keep that faith and find you something that keeps you going. Because like I said, you know, without the faith, without a strong village around you, it's almost impossible. But you can make it.
Got you. So much wisdom, man. And I think wisdom come with time, because like you said,
Man,
when we young, we all want to have fun. And I'm still young, man. I'll hit the big
yes,
4
sir.
over this year, but I've
Yes, sir.
always been fascinated with sports. And I think
Mm,
more than anything, you know, sports is really an education in itself about life. You know, I
yeah.
know on the field we could be down a couple touchdowns, everybody head down, but Bernie would, you know, always carry us back,
Oh
you
yeah.
know. I
Yes,
really
sir.
look at sports now, and I try to incorporate sports in what I'm doing to tell people life is just like sports.
Man, it's huge. It's a huge part in my life that's developed me just mentally strong, you know, and you know, having to figure it out.
Got you. Now, I do want to ask something that I don't want to ask, but I think I have to ask.
Yes, sir.
Um, the old documentary Hoop Dreams, I even asked Mr. William Gates the same question. At the time, even when you was in sports and William Gates was in sports and any other athlete before this NIL deal, how does that kind of like make you feel? Because I know we're from North Carolina and Carolina was huge. I seen
Yeah.
you playing. I bet it wouldn't have been nothing for you to go to Pepsi, say, hey, we're a Carolina, but let's go and get this endorsement.
Yes.
What was
Yeah.
some of that like? And can you talk about what was it like when you was in college, as far as trying to stay away from that? Because like you say,
Yeah.
everybody may help you out, but they're always looking for something in the back
Oh
end.
yeah.
What was it like for you dealing
Um,
with college athlete? And I know they say the
yeah.
education is the money as far as the scholarship, but what do you have to say looking back at it now, or what did you feel during that time when it came
Yeah.
to being
I
paid as an athlete?
yeah. I absolutely love that these kids are getting paid now. I mean,
Yeah,
I absolutely love it. Don't get me wrong. When we were playing, you know, for certain kids, you got your Pell Grant,
yeah,
and we got our meal money. each month. But when you think about being in the Chapel Hill, where every restaurant, just to start off, you getting your water is already $5. You know what I mean? I mean, a meal, if you want to take yourself, or if you got a female friend that you want to take out, that's almost $100. So that's tough. And like I said, I'm loving that they're paying these kids. Now, I do think they gotta tweak some things here and there, make some of these kids start signing contracts with these guys. So you just can't take the money and then next year you're gone.
Gotcha.
So I do feel like there's some tweaks and stuff, but I mean, the challenging part for when we were in school, because it was all illegal, and I don't know how much your listeners know about me. I was in the NCAA scandal, with money and agents and stuff like that. And the thing was, you can be sitting at a restaurant, you and your girl, or you and some friends, and you get ready to pay, and the person come up, the server come up and say, hey, your meal's already taken care of. As a 19, 20-year-old, 21-year-old kid, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm not about to go find the person that gonna pay for my meal. Or if you walk into your car and you see an envelope sitting on your windshield and it's got $500 on it, or somebody drops something in front of you, try to get their attention, and they keep walking, knowing that they hear you. What are you supposed? What is that 18, 19, 20-year-old kid supposed to do? And now, yes, it was wrong. Don't get me wrong. And I'm the type where I admit my wrongs. And we were wrong at that time. But at the same time, like I said, what is a 20-year-old kid supposed to do when somebody drops that money on them like that? And like I said, I'm happy that the kids are getting paid now, because they deserve it. I mean, college is way too hard. Just going to school, and like people, like you said, people come at us athletes as, well, you're getting a free education. I understand that, and we are blessed and thankful for that getting paid for, but we still have to live.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kids out there. I was blessed enough to have both parents in my life, but you got more than 50-60% of football players, or kids period, that play sports, that got single moms or single dad, that's trying to take care of them. So they can't send this kid $100 to $200 every week, where I knew people in Chapel Hill that either had daddy's credit card or daddy's putting $5,000 to $1,000 in their account each week. And we're sitting there like, man, I just hope mama can send me $20. You know what I mean? But I mean, like I said, man, it's a blessing that these kids are being able to get paid. And I mean, it's life-changing money for these kids in the NIL deal now. And because I mean, I wish, like I said, if we were doing it, man, like you said, go to Pepsi right there in New Bern, or and then especially with me playing two sports, I would have doubled up on NIL deals. And dude, I'm telling you, man, the sky would have been the limit on being able to do that, because where we grew up, we had, our talk game was special. You know what I mean?
And being from Carolina,
so we definitely, I definitely would have ate up on that. But like I said, I'm not mad about it. I am a little jealous. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, I'm very happy for these kids. Like I said, I just hope that they can tweak it a little bit and get this thing right before anything bad starts to happen.
Got you. Well, man, I'm so happy to have you as a guest, man. But we gotta take this little radio break, man.
For the
show, and then we'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Charles Chadwick, host of Chadwick's Experiences. Be sure to follow me at Instagram and Facebook at Reduce College Debt, and stay up to date on our live broadcast. We are WDRB Media, the voice of the community. By being on air, I'm able to share my life stories and experiences. As I have traveled all around the world, I have one main purpose, and that's to give a little something back to the next generation for a little motivation. Because in today's world, in order to reach their goals and find success, we all need some determination. Thank you, WDRB Media. Do you need more exposure for your business, brand, or organization? If so, let Chadwick's Experiences radio show help you fulfill your need for more exposure, more business, and return on investment. Connect with me at www.chadwicksexperiences.com today.
Welcome back to the Chadwick Experiences show. I have my good classmate, Division One player, play professionally football as well. I have Mr. Kendrick Burney here with me. If you missed the first half of this show, I highly recommend you to go back. He's dropping a lot of gems and giving game to parents and students. What are the benefits of playing two sports? How that can help you financially, as well as agility and ability to make coaches recruit you even more. So there's so much covered here. But now we're going to move forward with the second half of this show. Bernie, I want to talk to you about how did you transition from the college level and, play professional for a little bit? What was that like?
Man, it's a big change because college, you're still a young man. You got other young men with you that, we're still kids at that time. You go to the NFL, it's a whole different ballgame. The game's faster. It's bigger guys, but the main thing about the NFL is it's a business.
Yep.
It's 100% business. The playing part is no different than when you're a kid growing up, but the business part is what mentally what drives people crazy, because of the money, the injuries, all that. Like I said, so it's all business once you get to the NFL. And then another main point is there's a grown men.
Yeah.
Those are grown men with families. So where you was in college, where after practice you go hang out with your teammates and friends like that, none of that. You had to have a design day. You know what I mean? Just like life, you got the schedule for the boys to get together, because after practice these men are going home to their wives and kids.
Gotcha.
So that was a big change up of figuring out life in the NFL, because like I said, there's grown men that has families and they're going to see their sons and daughters and wives, and they ain't got time to come hang out. You know what I mean? Let's go out and do this. No, most of that was shut down, but it was a big experience, a change. And like I said, it was just so much business that you didn't know. You were told, but until you're in it and realize, certain guys, this is just a number. If they play 100 snaps or 300 snaps that year, they get an extra $1 million, where the coaches and the GMs and stuff will know that. And that man can play 295, 299, and they take that man out.
Yeah, kind of like Antonio Brown, what I heard.
Yeah, you wondering like why this man ain't playing no more, and then you find out, oh well, if he'd have played that last snap and played 300 snaps for that year or whatever, he would have got an extra $1 million.
Wow.
And that is so much stuff that the fans and people don't know. That pretty much why players sit out, and why that guaranteed money in football is so crucial. Because say, just because somebody signs let's say 5-year $100 million deal. All right, say they only give him $20 to $30 million guaranteed. Yep. That other 70 mil, if you get cut that next day, that you don't get none of that money. You only get that guaranteed. Gotcha. And in football, where you can get injured or cut at any time, that's why these players hold out. Gotcha. And I don't blame them no more. A lot of people are like, you're getting paid millions of dollars. But buddy, it's a tough world out here, and they're playing with you. So at the same time, you got to think about yourself and your family. So you got to they got to hold out, and I totally agree with them now that I know about those certain things.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
So you left UNC Chapel Hill. Were you like drafted or underdrafted, and what teams did you play for? And how did that feel? Maybe getting a call or an email say, "Hey, we're gonna try you out." I know that had to be very exciting.
Yeah. So man, this was the craziest experience ever in my life, which was the most humbling experience of my life. I went undrafted. From the 3rd round to the 7th round, I was sitting at the top of the board at Mel Kiper's top pick to go, and didn't go. So that was very humbling. But as soon as the draft was over, I got a call from the Carolina Panthers. And pretty much, I went and signed an undrafted free agent deal. Now, the thing about that was, in the NFL, you get paid, your signing bonus goes off a certain slot of where you get drafted. But with me going undrafted, I got to pretty much negotiate a whole different contract, like if I was a free agent. So I pretty much got more on my signing bonus than I would if I'd have got picked in rounds 5, 6, 7. You know what I mean? So, actually, it was actually a blessing that I did go undrafted. Everybody wants to hear your name and stuff like that. Yes, I would have loved to hear that. But at the end of the day, once I find out, my agent told me, hey, at like the 6th round, he was like, look, we don't want to get drafted, because we'll be able to negotiate more of your signing bonus and guarantee, versus if you get drafted, it's only a certain slot of how much you can get. Yes, sir.
Nice. So you went on and played for the Carolina Panthers. Were there any other teams you played for, and did you play in any other countries?
Yeah, I said I went with the Panthers. I was there 2 years, and then boom, when I got released, not even an hour after that, I was on the way to St. Louis to play with the Rams. So I spent a year and a half in St. Louis, and then came back to the Panthers for a year. And like I said, man, both of those experiences were, above all, the best in the world. And then St. Louis, I absolutely love St. Louis. Me being a country boy from a small town in Jacksonville, St. Louis was that. I mean, the cooking was almost, oh my God, it was amazing. To the point where when my grandparents, mom, and all them came down, I told them about a place called Sweetie Pies, and I said, Mom, Grandma, I love you to death, but I'm trying to tell you this place, Sweetie Pies, is special. Nice. And yeah, man, it was St. Louis was amazing. So played there, came back to Panthers, and then after I got released that last time, I went to Montreal, Canada, and played in the Canadian Football League, which is totally different from American football. They have arena style. They still got 11, but you got the receivers running at you like arena football. The field's wider. The goalpost is at the front of the end zone. It's 20 yards in, so it was a totally different experience. But the thing about Canadian football, you can only have, I want to say, 3 or 5 American players on your team.
Okay.
So it's very tough for American guys to come and play in Canadian football. So, but that was a great experience in Montreal. Got to visit Canada and absolutely loved it. After that, like I said, I played like a year and a half, and after that, I was pretty much done playing football.
Okay, nice. One thing I want to ask, and believe it or not, I'm kind of happy I didn't advance that far. I was the country guy. I was just happy to win a conference champion. But now that I'm older, I'm so much more competitive, Kendrick. Like if I could go back in time, boy, I would have tried to win us a state championship in basketball. But one thing that I'm kind of happy, my career in high school, I had a college basketball trial at a college, but what was that like when you have to look at yourself in the mirror a little bit and say, hey, I love this sport? What pushed you out of it? Was it just, I'm just curious, what, for any other athlete that will face this later on in their life, was it an injury, or was just you was burnt out? What made you, or what was your sign that it was time to transition out of football?
Man, I tell you, that's a very humbling, hard experience, getting cut, getting released. And like I said, when you asked me about the NFL, and I'm telling you that it's a business first. Like, so, once I got released from the Panthers that last time and went to Canada, after I played that time, man, it was so many thoughts in my head of, am I good enough to still play? Why am I not getting no NFL calls back? And like I said, it was all a business, because even though I went to Canada and balled out, if they bring me back to the NFL, now they got to pay me like a veteran. And
oh wow,
so business wise, it wouldn't match up. You know what I mean? It's not worth. They might as well go get a rookie coming in where they can let's play him. And once I start learning all that stuff, man, I'm not gonna say the love of the game left me, because I will always love the game, but it comes a time where, you know, do you continue running up and down the road trying to chase a dream that you might catch a break here and there, but at the same time you're not getting no younger. You got to start life sometime. So it's a humbling experience, because you know you got to look yourself in the mirror and you know, hey, are you ready to go start a family, or you know, you ready to go with your career? So it wasn't so much, like I said, you know, no injury, or you know, I didn't think I was good enough. It was just to the point where I was done. I felt like I achieved everything that I could do. You know, like I said, coming from a small town, like I was, being 5'9", I understood the game, the business, and all that. And mentally, I told myself, I'm blessed. I have done any and everything, went over all expectations of what, you know, not only myself dreams of what I want to do, but, you know, my family, because, you know, set them up certain ways where they were taken care of. So, like I said, I was just very thankful and blessed. And once I came to good with that, that's when I said, all right, I'm done playing. But it was not easy.
Oh, I can imagine, man. I can imagine. And again, maybe I'm talking cockiness or what, but I'm happy my career was over at high school. When I look at the effort that what people have to put in, I was not really dreaming that deep. But at one point I was, but like you say, coming from a little 2A school, Coach Foster took us to UNC and we played against Paul. And when he crossed us up and dropped like a 50-piece on us, I was like, man, it wasn't meant for me to like, but I salute you, man, for a Division I player, professional athlete. And now it brings me to another point. You actually coach and do one-on-one trainings with kids. So can you tell me how that kind of landed up? And I was happy you gave something back to, you know, good old Orange, Southwest as well.
Oh yeah. You know, I'm glad you asked that. You know, like I said, once I got released and I was done, I didn't want to be around no sports period for about a year. Just the depression of, man, I'm done playing. Because that's what I've done since I was born. That's all I knew was sports. But once you know, my nephews and my oldest son got old enough to start playing sports, and like I said, I started training them. And then a couple people would call, and I'm like, man, nah, not really. Like, I really didn't want to get back into it. And then I started doing it, and the love that I felt from those kids of whenever you're teaching them something and they go out there at their game or something like that. And it wasn't so much the parents calling me and say, oh my God, my son did this or my daughter did this. When that kid calls you and you can hear in that voice, or you go to his game and he come up to you afterwards like, coach, you remember when we did that drill? Like, it worked in the game. That was more a victory than anytime that I got to play. I mean, that feeling there is, and to this day of me coaching and training, there's nothing like it. Like, I mean, absolutely the best feeling in the world, being able to give back to these kids and watching them, you know, grow and get better and achieving some of the dreams that I got to do. And that's, I mean, like I said, you know, I call mine Golden 3 Sports. And I train all ages, not only in football, but baseball too. And then speed and agility. And like I said, you know, when God shut that door to me playing, I didn't realize when he opened that door to coaching that I would love it as much as I do. And I can honestly say, I think I love coaching more than I do playing.
Got you. But yeah, man, that's so awesome with coaching, man. And one thing that I'm learning in my life, again, as we could look at sports, is really about like life. So I know with you, I'm pretty sure you mentor kids, you coach them one-on-one, but also would you ever take a parent or student if they were getting, you know, recruited? I'm pretty sure, do you consultate people for that, like the recruiting part, and walk them through it as well?
Yeah, man, I walk them through it because, you know, a lot of, like I said, you know, I always go back to us being in a small town. these kids don't know the NCAA, the clearinghouse, what classes that you have to take to even qualify for college, So, as I started doing this coaching thing and started training, I started finding out, kids are getting to their senior year and man, they got too many classes to take. And so, and it's not enough classes in that semester for them to take, and they miss out on the opportunity. So, not only do I train, but it's mandatory for kids that's in from 7th grade to 12th grade that if I'm training them, their progress reports, I have to get them as well.
Nice.
Because my rule is, if you're not doing it in the classroom, there's no reason that me and you need to be training.
Nice.
Now, I'm not going to throw you out but me and you going to have a sit down conversation and we're going to figure this out. And if you're not working hard in that classroom, now you're wasting my time. Gotcha. And, my biggest thing, and people might think this is wrong for me to tell my kids this, but the biggest thing I tell my kids before we get out the car, before they go to either practice or a game or school, don't waste my time.
Nice.
Because, like I said, there's parents out here who's, like I said, single moms, dads, whoever, that's giving their all to these kids to either train or go out there. And if, as a kid, if you're not thankful and you out there and you got a 1-point-something GPA and all that, what are we doing? We not, and then as me as a coach, as a mentor, as a parent, if I'm not pushing my sons, my nieces, my kids I'm training to have it in school just as much as on the field, why are we doing it? Yeah. That's my main goal is I really could care less about the sports side of things. If you get a scholarship, yes, that's what we're working for. That's what we train. But if I can change that young man life into him being a young man and being respectful to his parents and to authorities, adults, then I'm doing something right. I won't say many names, but I had a mom who, she's a single mom, had a son who, man, disrespectful. I mean, calling names, and the child was dealing with some stuff.
Yeah.
And the first couple of times me and him trained, he was out there cussing and I could tell, he was battling some stuff. So, I would sit down and talk to him, but at the same time I would call him or text him throughout the week, even when we wasn't training. And man, about 2-3 months into training, his mom, called me crying. I'm like, oh man, what did the young man do? And she called and told me that this man went from failing 3 classes to he was on the AB honor roll, hasn't gotten no more trouble. He's doing chores at the house. His respect level to her she was like, it's almost where she was, like I said, she was crying just with how much that man changed his life. And that was just off me having conversations with this young man and showing him that, hey, people care for you.
Yeah.
And that's where, coaching, people got to realize it's way bigger than the sport.
Yep, it is.
It's way bigger. As you played, once you feel like somebody, a coach cares for you, man, that coach cannot know nothing about the sport, but you're going to go all out for that coach because you genuinely know that he cares about you. And that's what I love about this training and this coaching part, man, is, I get to change young men's lives. Nice. And like I said, man, I love it. The training part aspect of it with me, with the knowledge that I know, I'm not being big head, but I know my stuff and I know what works. And like I said, I love it. I love doing camps. If any of your listeners are in the area within 2 hours of Jacksonville, I hold camps every year. If you're from out there far and you want to go to camp, you let me know. I got all kinds of deals that I do for kids. I got deals that I do for single mothers. So if kids want to work, I promise you, there's a way that we can get it done. So, I love kids, like I said, man, and I want them to experience, everything that I've experienced. And, like when me and you played, a brotherhood like what we had, we didn't have all the height in the world.
Yeah.
We didn't have all the height in the
Nah, we
world.
did.
But we loved each other so much
We
that
went home. Yeah.
we went hard.
Yeah.
And that's hard to beat, teams that got chemistry and got brothers on the team that care about each other, don't care about who the superstar is.
Yeah.
Because like I said at the beginning of this conversation, me being a freshman, coming in playing varsity, most of the guys you ever seen could have looked at me like, man, nah, we ain't dealing with this freshman coming in here, you know what I mean, whether he can hoop or not. But y'all seen that I could help y'all, and I didn't come in there with a big head, and man, we made it work. And like I said, with the fact that y'all made me feel so loved, my shot was good. It was butter because of how much y'all showed love to me, making me not have to worry about stuff like that. And, that's what I wish that these parents would talk to their kids more about. Who cares who the superstar is?
Yeah.
If y'all love up on each other and help each other out, everybody's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, and everybody's going to win. The overall objective is to win.
Yes, sir. Yep, because like I said, when I did that stat of 3% of kids go to college, get that chance of college. My senior year, yes, I was the so-called superstar. But the fact that, colleges were coming to look at me, I think we had 6 or 7 kids in 2006 that went off to play college football. So, the thing my point of that is, if I would have had the big head and want the ball because I know I can do this and do that, and not share the ball, not bring those boys in, we need to work. 5 of those kids don't get that opportunity.
Yeah.
So whether, it's the last man on the team or the top man on the team, you got to show the love and bring that brotherhood together. And I promise you, great things will happen, man. And that's why I love
even like this, man, when we played, I know it's already been 20 something plus years since I was in high school, and just to kind of see and follow you online. And I want to share something with our guests too. Our dads both kind of work in that construction field. And I kid you not, if you're from where we're from, I was in Bewleyville, North Carolina, working on a log cabin, doing the plumbing. I look up, I see Mr. Tyrone, Odell, and Burney Jr. here painting. So even that alone shows the brotherhood of even like the Southwest community. And I know even with you, you're doing pressure washing.
Oh, yes, sir.
One thing I say to people who go to college is bring you a money-making skill set, because eventually paying back that loan is the real test. So I know I didn't even know your family had a painting company till we was way in the middle of nowhere and seeing you come out there. So the love and the brotherhood is just serious, man. And again, there's so many ways that me and you have always connected, even though we wasn't like right up on each other, but it's just a blessing to have that community. And again, sports. I'm thankful that you came on today, Bernie, because I want to see more people win at life, whether that's athletes, whether that's business, whether that's relationships, whether that's a single mother trying to help her son, or the son learning how to respect the mom. I'm all about winning. And I just want to thank you, man, for giving us some of your time, man. That's what Chadwick's experience is about. Even though me and your experience was about athletes, but I'm telling you, life is just like sports, man.
Yes, sir. I mean, like you said, just the fact that, that we ain't talked in a while, and boom, we talked one time, and boom, we learned, you're doing this great podcast. And like I said, I want to shout you out because, man, this is huge. Fact that you giving this knowledge back to the world, congratulations on your books. I can't wait to read them. But man, I'm so happy and proud for you and the things that you've done in life. And like I said, I've never got to tell you thank you for, like I said, me as a freshman coming in, the things that you might not thought you was teaching me anything, but man, your hustle, your attitude, and the way you went about your business, Charles, it ain't many like that. And, so I wanted to give you your flowers as well to let you know your impact, your senior year, and how hard you went. and never complain. You
Yeah.
know, that went a long way with me. It showed me, that hard work pays off, because like I said, you wasn't the tallest thing in the world. You know what I mean? When we going against those 6'8", 6'9", and you found a way to make your post game better, and learn how to go up and under, and you take them fouls and play defense. Like I said, so that rubbed off on our whole team, and you didn't realize it at the time, but man, you was one of the leaders that you didn't even realize, because you chill. You know what I mean? You didn't like say much, but you really were an inspiration to, like I said, I can't speak for the other boys, but myself, like I said, I fed off that and took part of your game and then instilled it in mine, because of, like I said, you being undersized, but never complained and went hard. And like I said, I appreciate you for what you did for me, that year that we got to play together.
Yeah, man. And that's what it's all about, man. Trying to get a brotherly or sisterly, love out here, because again, with sports, man, again, I was kind of a sheltered kid, but once I played, and again, I owe it to Brad Smith. He the one that told me to come out for the team. And once I saw, I was like, we can win a game by me just like rebounding and blocking shots. Like, I took it to another level. But
you did.
one thing that I like was just winning at whatever cost, and I look at it in life too, where people in jobs they don't want to work. You got to do what you got to do.
You got to do it.
Yes, sir. So Bernie, where can people contact you at?
Man, we got all our Golden 3 Sports are on all platforms. On Instagram, it's 3 Golden 3, the number 3 again. So pretty much if you type in Golden 3 Sports, Kendrick Burney will pull up. On Facebook, it's just under my name of Kendrick Burney. Okay. Like I said, Snapchat, same thing, Golden 3 Sports. Like I said, most of the time we're on Facebook and Instagram. That's my main 2, platforms, as we're growing this thing more. So like I said, whether it's you want to train, or whether you got a son or daughter that just wants to ask questions, I'm all about it, man. Like I said, the youth is what's going to be our future. I have young kids myself, so like I said, man, just giving them the knowledge and letting them understand that you got to put in the work, man. It's easy to sit there and play the game all day. Yep. You know what I mean? Like I totally understand it. I understand you want to sit in the house, it's hot outside, but you can't say you want to take that next step but don't want to put in the work. I got a rule with my kids. I don't go to them and be like, hey, let's go out there and work. Nah. You know what I mean? I'm not pushing nothing on them. But when we get in that game, don't look over the dad, or don't look the uncle and be like, hey, how do I do this? Nah. Because I promise you, we'd have did that work outside and you would be prepared for it. So my thing with parents is, also as a coach, it's only so much a coach can teach his players at practice. It's only so much, because he got other kids that he got to teach. So as parents, if you're not out there working with them, or if you don't find them a trainer or something like that, and I ain't saying, you got to go get no expensive trainer. Find somebody that, just willing to get that young man or woman outside doing something. Nice. It's pivotal for, not only just the skill, but just mentally preparing themselves of getting that work, because it translates into life.
Yeah, it really
does. What I mean? If you're lazy playing sports, I promise you, when you get in life, you're going to be the same way. And the thing about life is, they get left behind. Where school, there's no child left behind. In life and business, you get left behind. But
hold up, man. Now, I remember when I was in school, President Bush at the time made that No Child Left Behind act. But like you said, I agree, they can do that in school. They can say, hey, we don't give out Fs no more. But in the real world of life and business, people will be left behind.
You're going to be left behind.
Everybody when it comes to that.
You know, so, and I mean, I stand firm. I got it wrote down in my book. Shoot, this life is real, man. Like I said, as I was talking to you, I'll be writing a book here in the next couple of years, telling more of my story. And I mean, man, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, but it's about to come up. And you got to get up. You got to get up. And it's hard. It's very hard. And this, last thing I'll tell man, don't stay on that ground. Don't stay on that ground. You got to get up. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. You know what I mean? You've been through, I've been, with business, life, relationship, whatever. But you got to find a way up. You got to find somebody you can lean on a little bit. Like I said, I ain't gonna put religion on anybody, but you gotta get in your Bible, get in a book, something that's gonna help you. And I promise, if you stay consistent though, in whatever you do, you'll see that outcome.
Exactly, yes, man. Sir. And that still ties right back down to sports, man. You can win. If you really want to win, you're gonna win. I don't care. Even if some people cheat, I ain't recommending that. Yeah. But I know I did what I had to do to win.
You got to do it. You got to get it done. You got to get it done, man.
Well, man, I hate to cut this short. We may even have to chop it back up. But Burney, all jokes aside, thanks for coming up here. I hope parents and students will reach out to you because you're a source of knowledge, Division I player, professional athlete, and now you coach and train. Even if you don't need athletes, if your son or daughter's getting recruited, do some consultation with Kendrick Burney. He'll definitely help you out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, and I appreciate you having me on, big dog. It's always love, my brother.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
Man. I'm happy and proud for you, and I wish you nothing but the best.
All right, bet, man. This is 𝐶 Experiences. Please look at my books. I'm always trying to give something back. And again, whether you dream of college degrees or you want to be in the trade industry or just do an alternative pathway, that's what 𝐶 Experiences is here for.